KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvil's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime. How safe are the islands in the region from outside enemy forces? Nestor Lecanto with the report. Our continuing coverage of the U.S. Congressional oversight hearing. Plus, animal lovers upset after a dog violently attacked on camera earlier this year is found again, shot and slashed in the neck. Mitsuki Hirayama with the interview as the canine undergoes surgery. And the NMI could be at risk of not receiving future federal grants as a result of the questioned costs tied to the CARES Act. Regional correspondent Mas Maglotnia has the story.
Hafa and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Happy Fresco Friday. Thank you so much for ending your week here with us.
Well, Des, if one word could encapsulate Thursday's rare U.S. Congressional Field Oversight hearing on Guam, it might be China. Simply put, Washington's concerns over Chinese inroads in the region are what brought the delegation here.
And as Nestor Lecanto reports, local and regional leaders hope their return to Washington with a much better idea of what our issues are and how they can help.
No less than 9 members of the House Natural Resources Committee made the trip. The topic for the oversight hearing was Peace Through Strength, the strategic importance of the Pacific Islands to U.S.-led global security. A common theme of committee members' questioning was about Chinese attempts to influence the region. Chairman Bruce Westerman.
I see the Chinese Communist Party on a fishing expedition. I see them dangling bait out to people saying, here's something you must have. And we see what that means. And I want to give all the panel an opportunity to talk about how we convey the message to the public that there is a hook, that these aren't just goodwill gestures from the Chinese Communist Party. And also, what does it look like to have a real partnership, both economic and strategic partnership, and what message can we take back as members of Congress to develop that partnership from our end? And Governor Guerrero, I'll start with you.
I think the message that you should take back is those Chinese threats are very real here to our island. And how you convey that could be through the stories that we have told. And I think it's very important also that we continue the strong relationship with our federal partners, our U.S. partners, and in that way encourage more support this way towards workforce development, education, and so forth, because that's how we're going to be secure and defensive in this part of the world.
Other committee members asked about Chinese cyber attacks, spying, overfishing, and a variety of other issues that reveal Beijing's aspirations in the Indo-Pacific.
Question before us is simple. Who should shape the rules of future trade in the Indo-Pacific? If the U.S. does not engage actively, China will, writing a future that will never put Americans first. To prevent this, I support bipartisan efforts to enhance U.S. engagement in the region and support efforts to bolster the security of Guam, other key territories, and our allies and partners in the Indo-Pacific.
The delegation now moves on to a tour of the freely associated states. Nestor Lecanto, KUAM News.
Well, many of you may recall a story from earlier this year, disturbing footage of a Santa Rita teen brutally beating a dog with a wooden board circulating on social media. Rescue group Guam Paws for Pets say the same dog was maliciously shot and slashed recently.
The dog named Barney underwent surgery today and is recovering. The animal advocates now speaking out about the repeated abuse. Mitsuki Hirayama has more.
Anger erupting over the cruel abuse of a gentle dog named Barney.
As I sprayed the antiseptic, he didn't whimper, he didn't cry, he took 2 steps away and then came right back. This is the gentlest dog I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. And there's no reason that a dog so gentle should be beaten, abused, and shot or forgotten about or just let to roam.
Nonprofit organization Guam Paws for Pets board secretary Crystal Caldwell says a dog was recently shot at and slashed. Pictures too graphic to fully air showing gaping wounds in his neck with his ear nearly detached, and x-ray showing bullet fragments still in his neck.
This morning the veterinarian has said that he was at a very minimum shot with a high-powered caliber weapon and potentially even hit with a machete.
The rescue group bringing him to the vet where he underwent surgery today. It's the second time Barney, a friendly Santa Rita dog, was maliciously attacked in the village. Back in January, a video circulated on social media of then 19-year-old Darren Kanata allegedly beating the same dog with a wooden board, knocking him unconscious. Kanata was arrested and released early this March on bond. Court records state Kanata is wanted for failing to report to probation. In the months that followed, Vice President Sierra Tamayo says the dog was returned to the owner, but still showed up with injuries in question that she says could have been prevented.
He had been roaming ever since the initial attack and was constantly showing up at residents' homes with injuries. The dog, yes.
Yeah. And not normal injuries. They're like cuts and things that aren't consistent with what normal wear and tear what you would see on a stray or dog fights.
Meanwhile, territorial veterinarian Dr. Mariana Turner says animal control officers need to do their own assessment.
It's super challenging in this case on who we're going to prosecute for something like this, but it should be taken seriously that these things are happening within the community, and it's not to be taken lightly. Unfortunately, in the court of law, we need evidence and proof of who our suspect is. Otherwise, there's not really a case.
But the rescue group fearing the dog will be, quote, euthanized and the case swept under the rug. They have other plans to get Barney to his forever home.
He may actually lose his ear from the injuries. And then he's going to heal up here, and we're going to get him on the first flight out.
A first flight out to Florida, where a foster family is waiting to give him all the love he deserves. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
3 years in prison for stalking a woman known to him.
The defendant already facing other criminal charges in local court, landing him this new conviction. KUAM's Julian Hernandez has the story from the courtroom.
Clutching his hands as he heard his fate, defendant Sean Manglotnia is sentenced to 5 years in prison, but he'll only have to serve 3 of those years. Back in February, a jury found him guilty of advanced stalking. Manglotnia's run-in with the law dates back months before the stalking charges were filed against him. In October of last year, he was charged with attempted theft, drug possession, and 2 counts of family violence. Prosecutors then alleged he attacked the victim in the stalking case before being caught with meth and later accused of trying to forge a check. The court had ordered him to stay away from the victim, but that didn't happen. Manglotnia appearing before Judge Maria Senson late Thursday.
In the way I feel right now, I wasn't there to harm nobody. I was just in communication with my previous lawyer, and I was told back and forth that in probation you have to contact your lawyer, I waited 3 months without no contact, nothing, and I was trying to get in contact with the lawyer to see what I can do to address the case. But I'm really a family man, and I don't mean to harm them, is what happened.
Manglotnia admitting that he was, quote, triggered by the situation, telling the court his reasons why he violated the court's order. But prosecuting attorney Grant Olan wasn't buying it.
I'm not really hearing contrition or remorse from Mr. Manglotnia about his actions.
It was also said in court that the victim is still in fear for her life. Manglotnia will also serve 3 years parole. Julian Hernandez, KUAM News.
We'll have more news in a moment.
Keep it here. You're watching KUAM.
Half a Day Fresco Fridays on KUAM News. Presented by Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas. Located in Hagåtña, just across from the Gani Shopping Center.
The wait is over, Guam. The all-new state-of-the-art car wash is now open at Cars Plus. Introducing Finish Line Express, open 7 days a week. The all-new cashless drive-through car wash is also the largest car wash on island that can accommodate vehicles such as lifted Jeeps and full-size pickup trucks. Just roll up, pick a wash, insert credit card, or show your EverWash app and roll through. Plus, power vacuums are available to clean the interior. Show your vehicle some love today at the all-new car wash at Cars Plus in Mighty. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week.
New chicken nuggets from KFC?
Everybody's gonna want these. Let's eat these inside.
Try new Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. You've never had nuggets like these.
Free Typhoon Mawar debris cleanup is underway by FEMA and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Stage and sort eligible typhoon debris, including green waste, large appliances, residential construction, demolition debris, and metals as soon as possible at the residential right-of-way to take advantage of this free service. Ineligible debris will be left on site and may result in illegal dumping fines. For updated information by village, visit tinyurl.com/cleanupgu. This ad is paid for by the Office of the Governor of Guam.
Welcome back to Primetime. The Guam Department of Education is addressing the reason behind students having to take their meals outdoors. GDOE spokesperson Michelle Franquez telling KUAM several Guam DOE-operated cafeterias and kitchens are temporarily closed for required and preventative maintenance and upgrades. She adds this notice came late to GDOE from the Department of Public Health.
Basically just to close down to take care of required and preventative maintenance, installations and upgrades for equipment, again, kitchen renovations, and then mold mitigation, and basically anything to improve the cleanliness and the hygiene process of our different facilities that help feed our schools.
Franquez adds that following GDOE's leadership team coming together, it was determined that the schools impacted by the temporary closures are actually able to use their cafeterias as eating areas. However, some schools continue to explore alternative dining options due to the typhoon damage left behind. DL Perez, JQ San Miguel, Orach Halampago, and Finagadzan Elementary Schools, as well as Ukadu High and GW High, are the schools that are affected, with Finagadzan Elementary slated to be back inside the cafeteria soon. That's according to Franquez, as procurement for their tiles is underway. More possible load shedding now for the next few days. Guam Power Authority saying the Cabras 2 base load unit, the same one that's been having issues all month long, tripped off again last night. And once again, it's due to a boiler tube leak.
Once it cools off, crews will go in for repairs, and that could take several days. Check the GPA website for details for potential outages in your area. The budget session is winding down, but senators are still trying to tack on miscellaneous appropriations from wherever they can find cash. Vice Speaker Tina Munoz-Barnes is looking for $3.5 million to cover University of Guam faculty salary adjustments, which she says has not been adjusted for 30 years.
Mr. Chair, I want to note that it is clear that this salary schedule is outdated and it has not been able to account for a recent major inflation adjustments. UOG continues to see its faculty leave for better opportunities with higher salaries within the government of Guam and in other higher education institutions nationwide.
But because it's not part of the already approved FY24 budget allocation, she needs to find another funding source. Barnes wants to tap the Rainy Day Fund, which drew major blowback from Republican Senator Telo Taiduki.
We just had a major typhoon, and it's anticipated that another one might pop up soon too. We don't have that $15 million right now to bail us out again on another typhoon if it should hit us. Or another pandemic. That's why we created the Rainy Day Fund, not to subsidize pay raises. That's ridiculous.
Senators did not go back into session in the afternoon and instead recessed until Monday. They have until next Thursday to pass the budget. The CNMI could be at risk of not receiving future federal grants as a result of questioned costs tied to the CARES Act during the pandemic.
Regional correspondent Tomas Manglotnia sits down with CNMI delegate Gregorio Sablan, who shares those concerns.
Delegate Gregorio Sablan says future federal funding could be held back from the NMI after federal auditors uncovered $11.1 million in questioned CARES Act funds out of the roughly $36 million the Commonwealth received.
I would very much like for, I guess, our Department of Finance to be able to document hopefully most of those so that there's just paperwork issues. But when approximately a third of a grant is question cost, it's an alarming thing. In the very end, if none of these disputes are settled, if these question costs are not addressed and written off for us as question costs, then we may have to pay for it, either directly or in rescission of future grant amounts.
Meanwhile, the government is still reviewing American Rescue Plan spending.
This is just a CARE grant. What about other monies that we know came here? If a third of this remaining money are also question costs, that's a lot of money to us. I hope they are able to get to the bottom of this.
Sablan, who's fought hard to fund local programs in Congress, said the question cost should have never happened.
The intent, the opportunity that we have, even if this money are not questioned and eventually explained, but the opportunities we missed with all of this money is sad. It's unfortunate, and I don't know if we'll see this kind of money again in my lifetime. I hope not, because it came for a disaster, right? But it's a lot of money for the Marianas.
Tomas Manglotnia, KUAM News, Saipan.
Well, there's big news for movie lovers, as this weekend has a ginormous opportunity for you to catch some great flicks and save some dough.
Ooh, our resident mall rat Jason Salas heads to the Megaplex to find out the details about National Cinema Day.
Okay, half a day everybody, Jason Salas here, and I am hanging out at MM Theaters in the Micronesia Mall. Now, you know me, I love movies, but I heard there's something super special going on, and we gotta ask one person who knows even more about movies than me, the one and only Constance. Let's go check her out. Hey, Constance!
Hi!
Half a day!
Hello!
Thanks for having us back at the movies, man, and I understand you guys got something crazy going on Sunday.
Yes, so welcome to MM Theaters, everyone. This Sunday is National Cinema Day. It's the second annual. This year, tickets are $4 per movie, per ticket, any movie you want to watch.
Wait, I'm old, so my hearing's like bad. You said $4?
$4 the whole day. You can watch at night and it'll still be $4. You can watch a 3D movie, it'll still be $4. The whole day, only on Sunday, August 27th. Included on the $4, you guys can watch Gran Turismo. It's the latest movie that's releasing this Friday. We also have the latest Tagalog movie, Third World Romance, starring Carlo Aquino and Charlie Dizon.
Very nice.
And then on top of that, we're bringing back some old movies. So celebrating its 30th anniversary, we got Jurassic Park from 1993.
No way.
Yeah, and this one will be in 3D, and on Sunday it's $4.
Jurassic Park in 3D?
Yeah, and on top of that, on Sunday we do have some snack bar specials. We have our small popcorn for $4 as well. So, for $8 you can get a popcorn and a movie. And then we also have a buy one get one free on our goobers. Only on Sunday.
Goobers are the best. That's a complete meal right there. You get popcorn and goobers, and you watch dinosaurs like terrorizing, people.
And if you don't want to watch
and talking about chaos theory.
If you're not into dinosaurs, we got a movie for everyone. We're also bringing back The Little Mermaid. This will be the sing-along version. So I know the kids loved it. They were all singing in the auditorium. So why not come back on $4 for the ticket on Sunday?
Man, you guys are the best. You got the hardest working crew in movies. Hi guys, half a day. Okay, so that's Sunday, dude. I'm there.
Corin, you guys can also watch your movie with Burger King. We do have a special menu that's available from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to come to the theater to check that out. So Constance, thank you so much, and happy National Cinema Day, guys.
Welcome to Theaters. National Cinema Day is on Sunday, August 27, where movie tickets are $4 all day for all movies.
Amazing. I'm hungry and I want to watch the movie
great,
now.
but I love how we were both like, when it showed the double take of The Little Mermaid.
Literally, I'm obsessed.
She watched it for the both of us.
And I bought it. I watched it twice and bought it already. I'm going to watch that tonight.
You can watch it on Sunday.
And Sunday.
With $4.
Hey now. All right, well, now for a look at your world at home. Here's a sunrise view captured from God's country, a beautiful way to wake up in Ipen, Talofofo.
This view plus more music like this streaming now on Isla Digital Radio.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
prom picture.
Most I would like to thank God, because without him, none of this would be possible. And I'd like to thank my parents, my coaches, my trainers, and all my friends and teammates that's always had my back since the jump. And I appreciate you guys, and I love you guys. I really thought of studying abroad, and my parents and I really thought that this was a very unique and different situation to be in. Obviously, the team is very good. It creates a pathway and future opportunities for me in the future, and I'm just very blessed to have been able to have this opportunity. What we were relying on was researching campus, researching games, all that cool stuff.
How did you hook up with the coach? How did they discover you? How did you discover them? What was your process?
Obviously being a kid from Guam, having exposure, and if you want to go to the next level, it limits us because we don't really have the resources here. So you would have to travel around the world to really get that exposure. And so being on Guam, having recruiting apps such as NCSA, Field Level, all those different recruiting apps really helps you, and just helps you get your name out there.
NCAA in the UK, right? So the competition level there is quite high, and I saw some of the other recruits too. So how excited are you to compete in this new division?
I'm very excited because, for one, I think I'm a very experienced international player. And, I've been to Asia, America, different places, and I've never been to this part of the world. So it'd be pretty interesting and a great experience for me to play against the competition over there. Obviously, playing at a higher level, players from Guam would need to kind of change their rules, because on Guam you might be like 30-point per game scorer here, but at the higher levels, you might not. You might have to change your game out to be a distributor. And I think the great thing with me is I could really adapt to those situations. I think my skill level is on point with that. I could be a distributor. I could score. I could get my players involved, my teammates. And I'm just excited.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
I wonder what else is happening around town?
Well, Jason Salas knows, and he has your news bites.
All right, guys, you know what I'm doing here. We're telling you all the amazing things that are happening all across our wonderful Pacific Island region. And let's get started off with Maulik Fest. It is being put on by our friends at Payless Supermarkets. Look at this. Look at how many things there are to do. Look at how many vendors. Look at how many food trucks. Make sure to go to our website, click on the News Bites link, and you can see each one of them. Make sure to give them your attention, give them your patronage, and support them because they're all awesome. Amazing local vendors and food trucks. Also, live music. If you wanted nourishment for your ears, the John Dank Show is going to be there, as well as both of us four. Love both of those bands. Crowns and Beyond the Reef are having an equally awesome event, and it is called the Send-Off Show for the All-Island Westpac Tour. Mark your calendars because that is on September 9th at Carabao Brewing downtown, beginning at sundown, 6 p.m. more or less. Enjoy live performances from Straight Up Jed, KPV, and the aforementioned John Dank Show. Man, John Dank Show is gigging a lot, and that's why those guys are so good, because they put in a lot of work. You must be 21 or over to attend the event. Tickets available only at guamtime.net. And hello, Saipan. Buenas to our friends up in the 670. Awesome things happening up there because on Wednesday the 30th, beginning at 5 p.m. at the American Memorial Park Theater, Right to Democracy. It's a community forum being held. Speaking will be Guam native Neil Ware, along with Addie Martinez-Roman and Sheila Babata. You can learn more about their efforts to connect and build common ground between the U.S. territories. It is absolutely free. I told you there was amazing stuff happening all over the region, and we don't lie on this program. We give you all the, you know what? There's so much happening. I'm out. I gotta go do that. All right. So I'll see you guys later.
Special edition of Feed Me Fridays brought to you by Pipcorn Snacks. Real ingredients for real moments. Heirloom makes it better. Hafa-day. So we heard that Pipcorn Snacks are finally available here on Guam. So Curtis and I set out to find them. Ooh. What are you getting?
I think I'm gonna try out these cheese balls right here. It's got Tabasco sauce.
That looks good.
It does.
And it's baked too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm feeling popcorn. Something maybe sweet.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out.
Let's go.
Ooh, these look good. Cinnamon twist. Maybe I'll just get these mini popcorns too, so it's like sweet and salty, you know?
Yeah, I'm down.
Shoot, let's get it.
Let's go.
What's up, guys? So we're finally back at the station now with our snacks that we picked out. So I went ahead and got the cinnamon sugar twist of the heirloom pepcorn snacks. What did you get, Curtis?
I got the sea salt popcorn right here.
Cool, and we also have the spicy cheddar cheese balls with Tabasco. So I'm very excited to try this. It's actually our first time trying it. We heard that this brand actually originated from Shark Tank.
Ah, yeah.
So very cool, very cool. Go try, I'm gonna try this one out first. We can try this one in both.
Okay, shoot.
Okay, ready? And cheers.
Cheers.
Go ahead and try the popcorn. Wow, these are really small. So, cheers.
Cheers.
Mmm.
That's good. Sea salt. Salted
Wow,
popcorn's
that's
like
really
my favorite,
good.
guys.
Okay, now finally the cheese balls. I'm very excited to try this. I love pica. You like spicy food?
Yeah, I love Tabasco. Cheers. Yo, that really tastes like Tabasco.
Your first bite, all Tabasco. And then the cheese follows up with it. Wow, that's really good. This is a good snack when you're munching and watching George Lopez on Peacock. KUAM News Primetime is also on Peacock. These are the perfect snacks that you can be using. All right, guys, and that's it for today's episode of the Heirloom Pepcorn Snacks. What do you think, Curtis? Are you gonna get yourself a bag?
Yes.
For sure.
They're very
Don't
good.
sleep on them. Feed Me Fridays brought to you by Pipcorn Snacks. Real ingredients for real moments. Heirloom makes it better.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Darby and
Right?
Curtis. They did this time. Well, all week long we've been telling you about the Clear the Shelters finale event taking place tomorrow, Saturday, August 26th, at the Gaines Shelter in Jigo from 10 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. This is your opportunity to adopt an adorable fur baby.
That's right. There will also be food concessions, vendors, and raffles. Definitely fun for the entire family. We hope to see you all there.
Yes. It's birthday wishes time.
Here's your Coldstone Creamery Birthday Club shoutout submitted on KUAM.com and the winner of a yummy ice cream cake.
Hey everybody, it's the end of the week, but you know, we can't get started on this amazing island weekend. There's a lot going on this weekend without saying happy birthday to two amazing members of our community. First, Kevin DeLalo, happiest of birthdays to KUM kid Kevin, celebrating 17 years of laughter and love. We miss you so much here, but we're so excited for your new journey and your senior year. Yee! 12th grade. Go for it. Have the best birthday celebration ever, and you deserve nothing less. Love you so much, son, and see you soon. Say a very, very proud papa and the rest of the family. And to our beautiful mama, Mama Bobby Castro. May the Lord continue to bring you all the blessings and happiness in the world, and thank you for loving us unconditionally. That is amazing. Kevin and Mama Bobby, we hope the both of you have a beautiful Friday, a beautiful weekend, and a beautiful birthday. Okay, this week's winner of a Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake is Andon Sage, who was born on the 19th. And we hope you enjoy your cake. It may be a little hot this weekend, so that's a great way to cool down. And remember, you can have it for yourself, but sharing is caring. Share with your friends, share with your family, and enjoy the miracle that is you, because you are our birthday winner.
And that's your show. Good night.
The Hub is presented to you by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Day and welcome to another edition of The Hub. I'm Nestor Lecanto, and our guests this week are Sean Gumatata, who is the Vice Chairman of the Republican Party of Guam, and Senator Dwayne St. Nicholas, who were invited here to talk about a new bill that he introduced. And the topic is bringing the legislature back to the old days when we had 21 senators. Let me ask you, Senator, what's the purpose for reintroducing that whole, bring the senators back to 21?
Well, thank you for having me here. You know why I ran, right? I ran to legalize consumer grade fireworks. And it's so funny because I had to run because none of the senators, previous legislators, would ever take on that bill. And And also, I don't feel that the current 15 is a reflection of our current population and the different ethnicities and everything, you know, the different groups in our community. And so I really want to give everybody a shot. You know, they gave me a shot. You know, I know it's come with some hesitation and some criticism, but you know, nothing, you know, I cannot always do stuff that are popular. You know, if you go wherever the wind blows, you know, that's not a leader. You know, you got to tackle it on. And I honestly feel, I'm a businessman, right? So, you know, everything that I do has to be right. You know, so I think this is a good thing for our island. I think many members of our community will be better off represented if we had more legislators.
Okay. And Sean, it was former Speaker Mark Forbes, a Republican, who introduced the legislation that eventually reduced the number of senators from 21 to 15. Your reaction to the senator's bill?
So when we look at the body as itself, I mean, if we're going to make a move, in all due respect to the senator, if we make that move, all we can expect is that it's going to grow government. Right now, we're watching a response from Typhoon Mawar that many in the community maybe are not too happy with. They're looking at the judicial branch of government and looking at maybe, are we letting out too many people? How are they responding to the crime and the situation that faces all of our community? The legislature is no different. But I mean, if we're going to have a hard discussion about the expansion from 15 to 21, we can expect that it is going to grow the size of at least the legislative branch of government. Also, the community is asking us, hey, can we cut? But if you're increasing it, how are we doing that? But I think, and I agree with the senator when he says, you know, there's other people that could step up if it goes beyond that. I know that Senator Forbes was very keen on trying to bring down that on purpose, to bring down that cost, to ensure that it really does serve our people well for the size of community that we have. But if we have this discussion, we have to now start talking about our part-time legislature. And then we can start to get more people, just like the senator who's a businessman and myself. We can get more like-minded individuals who care about our community that can come forward and can serve. To come in here for the basic mandate, to legislate, to appropriate, confirm appointments, and then move on. If that's the case, then it's really that big next step has to be going part-time.
Yeah, I wanted to explore the part-time legislature idea because that proposal has come up before, but I wanted to talk more about the pros and cons of your bill, returning back to 21, because that's what the Organic Act said. Guam could have up to 21 senators, and our founding fathers back in 1950 decided that they wanted to go with 21. And you mentioned one thing that caught my attention was it would be much more representative. The different ethnicities might have a better opportunity. Talk a little bit more about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, when Congress promulgated our Organic Act, our population was around 50,000. And at that was maybe it was 2,000 to one senator at 21, right? And then we reduced it, but I see the dynamics of our island. You know, it's changing, it's growing, and I wanted to focus on that. Congress said 21. You know, there's a reason for that, because I think that would be a good representation of the strata of our society. You know, we got Filipinos who I don't think are adequately being represented. Chuukese people are not adequately being represented, and these are people who wake up every morning, pay their taxes, and make our island grow. You know, and I'm very optimistic about the future. You know, I really am, and I think if people just gave this a chance, you know, I think we'd be better off for it.
Yeah, Sean, what's your response to that? Would it provide a better representation across the board?
One thing that when I worked in government, I've always had and always kind of lived by that adage that government cannot be all things to all people. Going back to the idea that, you know, we have to put things into the private sector and to, you know, allow people to achieve their own destinies, and government really should get out of the way. I agree that there should be some level of diversity in the legislature that reflects our people. We need to encourage those quality folks from the different ethnicities to step forward, have the courage, like Senator San Nicolas, to step forward and to serve. I think that by expanding, again, it it's only going to make government, to us, the party, to the people who are like-minded like us, that it's only going to make it bigger. I think we're open to some of the debate on how it should be funded and the like, but by going part-time, those folks that are really on the fence who could serve, it gives them a chance. Those who are from different ethnicities who really are taking care of themselves, they don't look at this as the money-making part of their life. They might do the same, and they would step forward and serve. And that's the only thing. We have to encourage them. From Umatic to Jigo, we have to encourage our community to come out and to be a part of their, in this case, to be a part of their legislature.
Yeah, and Senator, I recall that one of the main reasons for reducing the number of senators was cost, right?
Yes,
to bring down
cost, yes.
the cost by a third. Why would we need to increase that back to where those levels are?
Well, I spoke with other senators, and a great number of them actually really liked the measure, and they said that, because I was worried too about funding, I mean, I just paid a whole boatload of GRT, so I know about growth and not wanting to grow the government any further, but this is not about that. This is about representation for our people. I mean, because it's a perfect example of me, I really wanted to pass this fireworks. I really wanted somebody else to do it for me and lobby a senator, and I could never get that, so I had to do it myself. But it takes a lot of time. It's a sacrifice. And then you talked about part-time legislature, which I thought, I wanted to give this a shot. This is really cool. But then I was like, hey, wait a minute, because this budget thing that we're going through, we're splitting hairs and we're doing all that. It takes a lot of time, to make sure we get our ducks in a row and all the figures straight. But I think that's something that I might revisit again and take a look at it, because like you too, I'm concerned about the government, but on the other hand, I'm also optimistic about the future and the growth of our island. I think having a couple more senators wouldn't hurt.
Sean, do you think having 21 senators provides a better check and balance against the administration?
It could provide a better check and balance if we're not spending all of our time just working there. We're contributing to other parts of our community. Because from our seat, like my seat as a small business owner, I'm also an instructor at the University of Guam. I can see it a little bit differently than, say, someone who spends from 8 to 5 or the proverbial day spending all their time looking at governance. That is probably not the best use of our time, especially when we're trying to, again, help create legislation that's going to have significant change to our community. And part-time is, it does bring out different people. There's been some say that it could. It's just also a way of doing business. I think we've seen it being done this way for such a very long time. If you look back at the history books, at the way that the legislature started, it was all advisory. It wasn't until 1970 where the legislature started to create more meaningful change and legislation to affect us for time to come. We're still doing it today. And I think that it's just going to be part of that change of that branch of government.
Okay, on that note, let's talk a little bit more about part-time legislature and maybe 21 part-time senators, but we got to take a break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The wait is over, Guam. The all-new state-of-the-art car wash is now open at Cars Plus. Introducing Finish Line Express, open 7 days a week. The all-new cashless drive-through car wash is also the largest car wash on island that can accommodate vehicles such as lifted Jeeps and full-size pickup trucks. Just roll up, pick a wash, insert credit card, or show your EverWash app and roll through. Plus, power vacuums are available to clean the interior. Show your vehicle some love today at the all-new car wash at Cars Plus in Mighty. Open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week.
New chicken nuggets from KFC?
Everybody's gonna want these. Let's eat these inside.
Try new Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. You've never had nuggets like these.
All right, we are back, and we're back with the Vice Chairman of the Republican Party, Sean Guimatato, and of course Senator Dwayne St. Nicholas, talking about the Senator's bill, which would increase the legislature back to 21 members. But in talking about that, Sean brought up the point that maybe we could go to a part-time legislature, and that might even be more effective. And we could still have 21 senators or even more if they were, just on a part-time basis. So such as businessmen such as yourself could focus on their business at the same time as focus on the issues that the legislature typically tackles. So let me start with you, Senator San Nicolas. What are your thoughts on that of having 21 senators, returning to 21 senators or even more, but on a part-time basis?
Yeah, good, great. Yeah, I'm open to anything. That's the best part of being me. I could be free and do whatever I want. I only raised $8,000 the last time, but basically, I'm literally basically free to think the way I wanted to think. But I really like the idea of part-time legislature with more. It's just, I don't know how we're going to sell that to the other legislators, but I think it's a great idea. I think there's somewhere in there we can have a compromise, 21 legislators, maybe part-time and stuff like that. We'll see how we sell it in the legislature, but I think it's one of those viable alternatives. Yeah. And I'm not gonna close my mind off to it. I think this is something that maybe we can visit and debate on the floor and also with the public.
Yeah. And Sean, as my understanding in past discussions or stuff that were floated out in the public, it would be a part-time legislature that met maybe twice a year, and there was for a month at a time or something of that sort. Can you expound on what your thoughts are on a part-time legislature?
Yeah. Let me start with the biggest thing first, is that this is about public service. It shouldn't be about lawmakers serving themselves. And when we think about this idea of going part-time, they're a vested member of our community. If they're taking time in their community, in their businesses, or maybe they're teachers, maybe they're some part of this of our society, then they can take time. And you're right; it's only a couple times a year, quite frankly, for the budget, and then to approve appointments, and that's it. And then they go about their way. I mean, we see it as close as Hawaii, that uses part-time legislatures very effectively. They all have meaningful jobs outside. Maybe they're retired, but they see their legislature is a broad cross-section of their society from all walks of life, different types of ethnicities across the board, and it's working for them. And I think we've been down this road. We're now a government that's been over just around 51 or 53 years old, if it is. Maybe we need to start looking at this as a viable option to move our entire branch of government forward.
Yeah, Senator, do you think that would help resolve one of your concerns? Is a more
Yeah. I honestly feel that way. Like I said, there's somewhere in here there's a compromise. I don't want to grow the government, or scare people and grow the government more than it should. And at the same token, I do want people to come out of the woodwork and serve their government, on a part-time basis or whatnot. I just feel that somewhere in here there's a compromise. There are some certain reservations I have, because $55,000 at the is really low, honestly, for a legislator. But I think we can work something out. If we put our minds together, where we can find some compromise, where we can grow our Senate, our representation in Congress, and maybe perhaps look at that as a viable alternative moving forward.
Yeah. On the issue of the legislative salaries, I know that was a big deal several years ago. In fact, it cost a lot of senators their jobs when they attempted to raise. But there is an argument for $55,000 being a real small amount for the responsibilities and the work that you do. And I'll tell you, Singapore, for example, and I lived in Singapore for a few years, they pay their parliamentarians and their government officials very high salaries to attract
better talent.
Better talent. Yeah. And that is their solution to having top-notch government officials and public leaders.
Thanks for pointing that out. Lee Kuan Yew said it himself. Father of Singapore. You get the government on the cheap. You get a cheap government.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sean, your thoughts?
It goes back to government should not be a hiring agency. What it is to serve. And having served in 2 branches of government, I can attest it's never been about money. It should always be about getting the right people to sit in these positions. And obviously we would elect them. When we look at the salaries, yes, they might be low. Yes, they might be, I don't even think they're in the median anymore. But when we look at it, if it's part-time, hey, this is the issue of salary really should not be the issue. We got to get the right people in there and serve, and to help folks like Senator Nicholas to try to push common sense legislation to help everyone, regardless if you're making $55,000 a year. I mean, our mayors are underpaid, and they do, I hate to say it, they do the yeoman's work of even the executive branch, but they're paid peanuts in comparison to senators.
Yeah. Another issue that has come up over the years, speaking of legislative reform, was districting, right? Representation of, all of the smaller villages versus, up north, Dededo, Jigo, which is the bulk of the population. They're getting the same number of resources, that sort of thing doesn't seem fair. What are your thoughts on districting?
My dad always spoke about districting. Believe it or not, my dad was a Republican. But he said, when it was districting, it actually reflected the will of the people more and greater, And but over time, the legislatures and everybody tried to mess with it, and then they did away with it. But my dad did tell me about those days. He said districting actually kind of made it made it a level playing field, I guess, for because it reflected the population.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think what we see now is common sense senators from the South who are now guiding us. I think the majority of them are from the South, from our party and from theirs. And can they broaden beyond that with districts? Yeah, I think so. But remember that a lot of people are very transient from the North. They might not have the same people who were there for generations, like, say, Central and Southern Guam. I think that would be, if we go back to the districting, it's the idea of I think they went to at-large for a reason. They wanted more people to be a little bit more broader, just as they went with this 21 senators. They want to try to reach more people. By narrowing it, well, then the race becomes inside those districts and making sure that they represent the values of those respective areas.
Yeah. I think one of the things that your bill will possibly rekindle is the idea of legislative reform. Mm-hmm. Do we really need the legislature in the format that it is right now? Do we really need 15 that are churning out all these bills? Do we really need all these new laws that are coming out?
I agree with you.
So maybe if anything, the discussion about 21 returning to 21 is going to rekindle.
Well, a lot of my bills are getting people to talk about it, to think about it, and if it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But let's just keep trying, and let's keep trying to work toward that better union, that perfect union, that perfect governance, So yes, I'm very happy that I was able to bring this out, and now we can dialogue. Oh, okay, now we can talk about this, we can talk about that. And that's the greatest thing about us, as long as we remain respectful with each other, and we respect each other, and our and we can disagree, but at least we can produce something that maybe is good for us moving forward.
And that's a good point, because that's how the 15 happened. There was a discussion that maybe with the growth of the island, it started to top out, this might be the best solution. Now, anyone can debate today whether or not 15 has been great. There are some people that say it's okay. There are some, including the senators, saying, hey, I think we need to go back. So keeping the dialogue open, and we hope that people will watch the program and will read the legislation, will come out to the public hearing and let their voice be heard. At the end of the day, we got to let the people's voice be the thing that rings over in terms of this particular issue, especially with the legislative branch of government.
All right, great discussion, but we need to take another break, so we'll be back. Don't go away.
Free Typhoon Mawar debris cleanup is underway by FEMA and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Stage and sort eligible typhoon debris, including green waste, large appliances, residential construction, demolition debris, and metals as soon as possible at the residential right-of-way to take advantage of this free service. Ineligible debris will be left on site and may result in illegal dumping fines. For updated information by village, visit tinyurl.com/cleanupgu. This ad is paid for by the Office of the Governor of Guam.
With the Pizza Hut Big Dinner Box, however you want a dinner, we got you covered. Big time. The Big Dinner Box. 2 pizzas, breadsticks, and wings or pasta.
Oh, hello.
All right, and we're back with the Vice Chairman of the Republican Party, Sean Gumatauto, and Senator Dwayne St-Nicholas, and we've been talking about, first of all, your bill, but we also kind of expanded into legislative reform and different ideas, a part-time legislator. We talked about districting, but now I'm going to change the subject just a little bit. There is a proposal or a request to explore what it would take to close the Democratic primary, in particular from Chirag Bujawani, who is I believe, the executive director of the party. Senator, your thoughts on a closed Democratic primary?
Oh, no, I don't like to close anything. I wouldn't want that. This is my own personal opinion, okay? I'm not talking for the party or anything, but I feel that the more inclusion, let everybody come in and vote. Democrats, and let the chips fall where they may. And if you got good senators or good candidates, shouldn't worry about anything. We're going to win.
Yeah, I think one of the issues that did come up, I think it was in the last election, was the fact that there was a lot of crossover, that the Republicans, in this particular case, would be voting for the candidate they felt would be more, I guess, weak, so that they have a better challenge to it, and that was the reason. And the Election Commission has been discussing that. I believe they are waiting to hear back from the party itself on how the rules and regs would work for closing the primary so that it would be exclusive. So only Democrats, they can ensure, I guess, that only Democrats would vote in the Democratic primary.
Yeah, not too.
No, but you're not interested in that. Yeah.
That puts a bad taste in our community. Putting people out and not letting them participate. Just leave it at that. Just let everybody vote.
Yeah, Sean, from the Republican side, what are your thoughts?
Well,
not necessarily on the Democratic Party, but a closed primary.
Well, I think we've been pretty clear. I mean, the Republican Party of Guam back in, I want to say 2020 or 19, had actually amended its bylaws to keep the open primary. That is no secret. That has been there for a long time. We agree with Senator St-Nicholas that it has to be inclusionary. If the Democrats want to close it, that's fine. All those voters who might feel disenfranchised can vote for Republicans. They can also run as under our banner. Independents can come over. Those disenfranchised Democrats. Maybe you're not disenfranchised, but at some point you can vote for Republicans. But the notion is we have to keep this open. I know that there was a lot of talk about saying, oh, well, Republicans jumped into the Democratic races. That could be could be true or not. We looked at those who actually voted in that Republican primary, and it was as small, and the thought was we expected that number. So and then in the general, it had a different effect. We picked up more voters. But when it comes to the actual process itself, it should be open. I mean, everyone should have a chance to vote for all of their elected representatives, whether it's a primary or a general election.
Yeah. So you're saying that the notion that one party would switch over to the other to affect that the other party's primary is more of a myth than reality?
I don't want to say it's a myth, but I mean, we spent a lot of time telling our Republican friends, don't go and vote in that. And we tell them, I was here on the air here, I don't know how many weeks saying, don't do it.
I recall that. Yeah. I think there was, at the end of the day, I think when you guys assessed it, you found that it was pretty nominal number, right?
Yeah, very, very few. And it was probably those who maybe worked for the administration, who had been from those traditional families that did that. And, it happens. But when we think about it, we weren't, advocating for everyone to go there and mess with another election. Because it's open for a reason so people can participate. We don't want it to go backwards. We want people to come back out.
Yeah, and I know you said you were opposed to a closed primary,
that, yeah.
but can you think of any reasons why the Democrats would want to do that?
No, I don't want to speak on that, but for me, you know, I think it's very important. You know, at the end of the day, what matters is who we elect, and how we got there. It don't matter to me. But for me, I think the best thing to do is to keep it open, and let everybody participate.
Okay.
Because you know, when I got elected, I don't see Republican or Democrat. I only see people of Guam.
Okay, Senator, we got about a minute left, so I'm going to give you one last opportunity to kind of pitch your bill. Why your colleagues should support 21 senators in the Guam legislature again.
Well, I got some support from our legislators. They're all